Hi, listening to Ernesto with Christ-like Parenting. Many years ago, when my kids were just tiny, let's go back to my kids being 4 or 5 years old. They would run around and have fun, and my young boy would start playing with my daughter's dolls, and my daughter would start playing with my son's toy cars, and whatever. Thought nothing of it, no big deal. And then as they grew older, I had my next son, and when he got a little older, he started to play with dolls and play with the toy cars, and then he started to mimic my daughter. Some of the things that she was doing was very feminine, and my son started doing some feminine things. And he looked at me for approval, and I would laugh. I thought that it was more funny than anything else. But after a while, I realized, wait a minute, I'm laughing, but who's correcting him? Like, my wife and I were kind of looked at each other and said, if we don't correct him, who will? So the next time he was dancing in a very feminine manner and thought that it was funny, I told him, well, sure, yeah, but that's girly. You know that, right? You look like a girl when you do that. And he kind of looked at me and said, oh, really? I just like it. And I said, okay, well, so as you know, you look like a girl when you're doing that. As my kids keep getting older and older, my daughter will also, as she's hanging out with a lot of boys, she has a lot of friends who are boys, she for a while said, I'm a tomboy. To why she responded, yeah, sure, be a tomboy. And she can say it as much as she wants. Then one day I explained to her what a tomboy was. He says, well, I don't think I want to be that. And then when she was getting dressed, I noticed that she was dressing a little bit more like a boy than a girl. And I said, well, you look like a boy. It would be more feminine if you wore something like this. And, she accepted it and she did it, and that was great. So be it. As my kids grow older, every once in a while, I have to correct them. Just yesterday, my son was doing a dance that was very feminine. Again, just trying to be funny. But who's going to correct them if not me and my wife? So that moment when it happened, I said, yeah, sure, but you look like a girl when you do that. Immediately, he kind of said, oh, okay. And he stopped. So as they grow older, I'm teaching them, how to play with girls, how to play with boys, how to be a boy, how to be a girl, and eventually how to be a teenager boy and a teenager girl. And it's going to come with all kinds of different issues, of course, as they grow older. My son is 13. We're already at that stage with him. And as they grow older, more challenges will come, and I have to continue to correct their behavior so that eventually I can show them what is a man or what is a woman. Why is this important? Because now, during this time of parenting, is where it matters for us to be teaching our kids what is a boy, what is a girl. I don't really care about man or woman just yet. I have that definition. My wife and I have that definition. We will give that to them when they get there. But now, at this stage of their life, what is a boy? What is a girl? How do they act with each other? How do they keep distance from each other? How do they respect their bodies? How do they dress? My boy dresses very well. If he puts on something that he looks like a girl, I will let him dress that way, but I will definitely make it very clear to them that is for a girl. That's not boy clothes. That's for a girl. And that helps him to figure out what it is that he's going to have to do so that when he is older, he knows how to turn into a man. And I think one of the worst things that we can do to our kids is to change whatever God has designed for us, to try to change it with some kind of chemical, some kind of hormone chemical, or some kind of trying to throw something at the body, trying to change whatever God has intended. Am I against it? Absolutely. I am against 100% against hormone therapy for any child. I don't think any parent in their right mind should ever give their children hormones. And so, how do we get our kids to understand who they are? Well, we know. If we are confused, we got to understand it first. Understand it first from our perspective. What is a boy? What is a girl? Let that sink in. Let's us do that research ourselves so we can understand, and then we can properly teach it to somebody else. If you are confused as to what is a man and what is a woman, or what is a boy and what is a girl, I implore you, go look into it. we have a responsibility to teach our kids right from wrong. So what can you do? Well, I'll tell you, a boy who has been willed by God is going to be responsible for the things that God has entrusted unto them as a boy. The girl will have her own responsibilities that have been given to her by God to fulfill God's will, to fulfill His mission in this world. Please pray for me. I'll pray for you. God bless.